Hey there, Soul Tribe. It's the Joy Healer, Kathy Weiss here, helping people who are feeling stuck, uncertain, or longing for more find clarity, direction, and alignment with their own joy and soul's purpose. Welcome to your weekly energy reading. I am coming to you live from my reading room here on the central coast of California, and this is your energy reading for the week of February 3rd through the 9th, 2020. Although, remember, if you stumble across this video sometime in the future, besides the week of February 3rd, 2020, there's still good nuggets hidden in here for you, and I'm going to recommend that you stick around and watch the whole video. So, really interesting. Just as I was getting ready to hit play or hit record and start the reading for you guys, I can feel the energy of questions. Like, there are so many questions coming in. It feels like a heavy rainfall of questions coming in. Now, I love answering your questions, but when they're coming in this fast and heavy, it's hard for me to pick them out, right? So here's what I would love for you to do. If you have a question, I don't even care what kind of a question it is, would you please send it to me? Either put it down here in the comments, private message me after you've watched the video, or even book a healing session for yourself at thejoyhealer.com, and let's get those questions answered for you. I have this beautiful natural gift where I channel messages from the collective guides of Source. So hook me up, because I feel them really strong and heavy today. Before we start the channeled messages and the reading for this week, I am going to offer a little bit of energy healing in the form of colored light. So if you'd like to receive the energy healing, all you have to do is get your hands in an open, receptive position. You could hold them open like that towards me, up towards the ceiling, on your lap with your hands open like that. Doesn't matter. If you're not into it for any reason, just lightly fold your hands together. So you don't have to be clenched up about it, but just, in a way that the palms are closed and face down will just kind of turn off the receptivity to the energy healing for a moment. But I kind of feel like, who doesn't want a little love and juju going on this fine Monday? First reading for the month of February, by the way. So, I've just got my hands here so that you can see them. Know that energy healing, at least with my gift, is not regulated by time or space. So whether you're watching live or later, you can receive the healing that's coming through. One of the questions that I have been asked and still feel you guys asking is, does the color have meaning? And the answer from Collective Guides of Source is that yes, it does. But we're moving into an era where we want you to feel more than you think. So you're being asked to, as you receive the energy healing, just notice how you feel. I'm sending now. Maybe you feel warmth or a tingling sensation. Maybe you don't feel anything, but later you notice that your mood is lighter, or you sleep easier. We're having a similar color pattern this week as the last 2 weeks, but coming from both hands at the same time in sort of like a bullseye pattern where the center is a darker purple, fading out to more like a fuchsia pink that is rimmed with white and then gold on the outer edges. Okay. So I just was listening, and I heard receptivity done. So those of us that chose to receive the energy have received it. Can I just tell you guys that clairvoyance is kind of weird? Here's what I mean. I don't mean it's weird that I have the gift. It's weird the way that sometimes it comes through. So as I was tapping into the energy, which, remember, it doesn't have any words or language, it's just a wave, like a sound wave or a light wave, I have to interpret it. And so I started getting this image 2 days ago, 3 days ago, of those little mini trampolines you could use for exercise, you could bounce on them or jog on them or do whatever. So I started seeing that, and I was like, okay, that's it. And it was like, yeah, that's it. That's all you're getting right now. And then on Saturday, I started hearing Van Halen's song Jump, like, go ahead and jump, jump, might as well jump, and like just over and over, go ahead and jump, jump, bow, bow, go ahead and jump. And like none of the other lyrics, just that part, like over and over and over. And it's like, okay, so we're rocking out with some like Van Halen right now. And then behind that, I hope you guys know the Disney Pixar short called Boundin'. And if you don't, please go look it up and watch it because it is absolutely my favorite Disney Pixar short. And it has this character called the Jackalope. And he is singing and telling a story to this little sheep who got sheared, and he's all sad because he's like pink and like depressed because everybody's making fun of him. And the jackalope is saying, sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down, and all you have to do is bound and rebound. And it's talking about when you're down, jump. And I think this is how it ties into everything. When you're down, you jump yourself up and rebound and just bound and rebound and bound and rebound. So I have all of these like swirling, and I'm like, okay, I'm putting together this weird jigsaw puzzle of trampolines and Van Halen and a jackalope, and trying to understand the message to communicate to you guys. And then this morning, like adding another layer on top of how weird the messages are, is I heard this repeated phrase, don't buy into the hype. Don't buy into the hype. Don't buy into the hype. I was like, okay, what does that have to do with the trampoline and Van Halen? And I got a channeled message that leads into the trampoline, Van Halen, jackalope, boundin' situation. So let me move our beautiful crystals, grounding energy for today. Gently grounding energy today. So let's go through the channeled message from the collective guides of Source. As I do, what I'm hearing is I'm going to add a little bit of information in as we go along. That's going to make it all like this weird picture come together for us, okay? So it says, don't buy into the hype. And immediately I was seeing an image of this meme that's been going around on the interwebs, like, oh, January was the longest year ever. Thank God it's over. Ugh, January was such a hard year. Thank God it's over. That like January was so long and so hard. It was like a year, blah, blah, blah. And the guides are saying, really? Really? Was January that bad? Like, look carefully at your own personal life. Was it really that bad? Or was it kind of like, yeah, you just had to get back into work and the routine of day-to-day life after the holiday season? And it says, maybe for a few of you, life turned into a country song, like my dog ran away, my spouse left me, I got fired from my job, my house burned down, all in the same 2-day period. But really, did that happen to you? Really? That's what they're saying, like, really? Did it happen to you? And just like yes or no, was January really that bad? Because here's the thing. They say there will always be things going on in the world. And at some rare point, you will be affected on a personal level by something that is more difficult or something that you perceive as more tragic than going back to work and getting the flu. Okay, which does not, I think that's pretty like normal and common. We're talking about things much more devastating, like the fires in Australia or something like that. It says the rest is just news. So what kind of influencer do you want to be? And I'm hearing you say, like, I'm not an influencer. I only have like 100 people on Instagram or whatever it is. And the universe is like, no, no, no. No, you're all influencers. Now, we've come up with the term influencer to refer to people that we perceive to have a large social media following who then get paid to advertise products or ideas or whatever. But you are all influencers. You all energetically influence the people around you, the people in your family, the people that you work with, the people you see at the grocery store, the people who see and interact with your social media posts. You are an influencer. What kind of influencer do you want to be? The kind who parrots and jumps on board with misery, spreading and begetting the confirmation of misery. January was so horrible it lasted a year. Or one who shines a light on the good and who celebrates despite or because of the challenges. January was pretty freaking awesome. I went back to work. I have a job. I'm grateful that I have a job. And at the end of January, I came down with bronchitis. Here I am doing a video with you, hoping to God I don't have a hacking coughing fit. I've got my water just in case I do, right? Like January was amazing. I'm so grateful for January. We got some beautiful weather. It's green. In California, winter is very green. Oh, it's a rad month, right? That's the kind of influencer I want to be. I want to be the one who's like, this was a kick-ass month. What kind of influencer do you want to be? And our guides say, we don't care. We want you to make a conscious decision. They're saying we want you to consciously decide and be aware of how you influence the people in your life. Okay? And what they're saying is, it's just life. There's always, in quotes, good and always bad, right? Because really, ultimately, there's no good or bad. Things just are. And it's how we decide to perceive them and how we decide to interpret that and share with others about life. There is always, quote, good and there's always, quote, bad. So which are you looking at and which are you spreading and sharing? Why, dear one? Why? So it doesn't matter. And if you're looking at yourself and you're like, oh, I kind of dumped a bunch of shit on people, when really if I was honest about it, it wasn't that bad. Or I don't feel good that I made that decision. It's okay, because it says onward to bound and rebound. And here's where we get the little, I wish I had like a little jackalope toy that I could like play with you guys, right? Because sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down. And so when we talk about being an influencer and you realize that you or perhaps being the type of influencer that doesn't feel good to you, that doesn't resonate with who you truly are, that spark of light that is within you, it's like you bound and rebound. Okay, so you jump on that mini trampoline, and in the image of the mini trampoline, I see this little you like jumping and bouncing up like so high, and jumping and bouncing so high, and jumping and bouncing so high. And it's like, okay, we're going to soar to new heights because now we know better, we do better. We felt viscerally, this is big, this is like the hugest thing right now, guys, is stop thinking about it and start feeling about it. And the moment you feel that it didn't feel so good to be craptastic to people, even in a tangential sort of way, I don't even know if that's a word, make a new choice, soar to new heights, bound and rebound. And so like now Van Halen is kicking back in like, go ahead and jump, bow, bow, might as well jump. And they're saying like, jump on that trampoline and soar higher, okay? Make a new choice now and now. And now, and now. Ooh, I'm like tingling in this moment with the energy and the excitement that I can feel rising in you as you recognize the truth. You are an influencer, and you can be an influencer for the good or the shit show. It's up to you, but it feels exciting. I feel the enlivenedness rising within you, that you know that you can choose again and again and again and again, because deep within your heart, through all the layers of life and all the hurt and all the pain and all the vulnerability, like I can feel myself digging through all of that, deep at the center of who you truly are. You're a warrior for light. You're a warrior for joy. You're a warrior for good. You're a warrior for positivity. And you know it's okay to stumble. And that when you do, all you have to do is bound and rebound and put on a little bit of Van Halen and just, rock on, sisters. Make a new choice. Make a new choice. Make a new choice. So that is the channeled message for the week. I have over here Dr. Christiane Northrup's Women's Bodies, Women Women's Wisdom Oracle deck. And I'm going to choose a card from this deck, and I chose it because it's really gentle. And I'm feeling that within the passionate and enlivened message that was coming through, and lately, guys, the messages are coming through louder and more passionate and more forceful. So I'm almost gonna feel like I'm yelling at you a little bit, but that's just in response to the like the volume being turned up, the intensity being turned up from the universe. Like instead of a little trickle, we've got this big wide stream flowing through. And to balance that is the gentleness, because it just feels good. It feels good to know that even in the intensity of that message, we can still be soft. We can still let our shoulders come down. We can still be easy. We don't have to be forceful influencers. We can be gentle with ourselves and gentle with others. And sometimes gentle and easy is the way. It's like the Mandalorian. This is the way, right? I don't mean to be a Star Wars nerd, and I don't think that I am, except that I kind of like drop Star Wars quotes and wisdom all the time. What can I say? The Force is real. Okay, if anybody wants to crochet me like the little baby Yoda headband scarf thing, that would be rad, because I don't know how to crochet. Here comes our oracle card. So when you work with me privately, and I suggest that you do, because these messages are universal, they're for everyone. So they're a piece of the puzzle, but it's like if you are a pie, you're a pie right now. I'm hearing you're a pie, not a puzzle. So this is like a slice of your pie. And there's another slice of your pie that is like, now it's like a USB port, like plugging in to your unique energy stream is different than plugging into the collective. So when you work with me one-on-one and we choose some oracle cards, you get to choose where in the deck that your card, or cards plural, is living. I'm going to go with this sort of, see how there's like sort of one like poking out? That's always like where I feel most guided and called to go. So let's go with that one. This is Enlighten Heart and Mind, Imagine and Allow. So soft. First of all, I just looked at the image and she's so soft. You can barely see these like angel wings coming out from behind her back. And what I'm hearing with the imagine and allow is imagine and allow your life to be one that is influential. You don't have to influence millions. Influencing one other human being is powerful. And could you imagine if every person on the planet simply chose to influence one other human in a way that felt positive and uplifting in some way? What a world! What a world we would be living in. And can we give ourselves permission to imagine that world? It's almost like we're terrified to imagine that world because we don't know who or how we'd be without the conflict. But wouldn't it feel so nice? Like I just keep feeling my shoulders drop down. Wouldn't it be so nice if we could imagine and allow ourselves to carve out a world where we were all positive influencers and warriors for the light? I'm just letting that soak in for a second. I am going to look into the guidebook and see what Dr. Northrup's intention is with this card. It takes me just a moment. Her setup is a little different than other decks. So here's what she says. Curiosity about the world and the desire to know more is the beginning of all knowledge and is the basis for education. What would you like to know more about? We are born with open minds and unquenchable search for knowledge. Ask why. Ask questions right here. Because I channel the collective guides of Source, I am able to answer any and all questions. It's kind of cool and rad and also weird all at the same time. I acknowledge that. Send me a question in a private message if you don't feel comfortable sharing your question in a public forum. I honor and accept and value that as well. Set up a private session with me and let's dive deeper into your questions. All you have to do is go to thejoyhealer.com so that we can find you the clarity and the direction and the alignment with your joy and your light and your soul's purpose, and like really get you living that in a way that feels fulfilling and satisfying, maybe in a way you've never experienced before. And maybe that's why it can get a little bit scary, is because you just don't know what it feels like. But I promise you, as someone who has lived a life that didn't feel so hot and fantastic and is now waking up every day with joy and eagerness and delight, it's worth crossing the barrier into the unknown to discover that. I love you and I value you and I appreciate you. And I am hearing this message is complete. So if you came in somewhere halfway or towards the end, circle back to the beginning because it was strong and powerful today. I will be back next Monday for your weekly energy reading, and I look forward to seeing some of you in your private personalized sessions. Until then, you guys have a great, beautiful week. And yeah, I'm hearing shut it. We're done. Okay. Bye, y'all. I love you. Namaste.